Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So what we're working on is getting our dialog box to print lines of text. So we are trying to take in a string, whoever knows how long, like a whole couple sentences worth, and then for us to print one character at a time, one line at a time, and then allow us to manually advance the page so we can read further text on the next page. We're working on this, clearly this is wrong because the string that we're trying to print is a line, whatever, let's check it out. And I had a Halloween party today and I just ate way too much food, so I'm not feeling that great. But here's our test line, our test text. See how it's multiple lines of text? Or it's actually just one big string, but we need to split it up into multiple lines. So this is the test line, this is the test line 2, this is test line 3. Each of those characters are 19 characters each, so this should be 19 characters. And that is the line limit for what can fit on one line. So yesterday we've got the space detection working at least, which is good. But we have screwed up all of our logic. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to do right. We're just going to have to take it one step at a time because clearly all this stuff is wrong. So let's just take a look. The line result, let me see here. I'm trying to see that all we have to do is get the string field populated for each of our lines. So what that looks like is right here. Pages 1 that's page 1 line 1 dot string is this is line 1. And if we were to take this stuff, I think if we were to assign this manually, we're overwriting it anyway, so actually let's see how that worked. So it wasn't actually, yeah, why would that work? Let me comment this out here. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Nothing works. Okay. Oh, and you know what? This is fine. This is just our printing the string one character at a time. So that's fine. It's that in our... Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. The string works because we assign it after our brokenness up here. Okay. So the goal is, if we were to get the result of the dot string to be equal to the thing we're trying to actually parse it down into, we could then... Actually, yeah, what is... So we're going to leave that. Okay, and leave this out. Okay. Alright. So it threw me off a little bit because in the init is where all this logic is. So the bug is somewhere in here. Let's I don't know what to do. Let's just walk through what we're doing. So our self.text field is the actual text of the this is test line 1, this is test line 2, this is test line 3. That's the dot text. Text length is the number of characters that dot text is. So we're saying for I gets 1, comma text length, and that is for every character in our text. What we're going to do is increment our line character index. And what are we doing with this line character index? Well, we are using it to determine if we need to print something on the next line, because the current line we're on is already X amount off of the total character count for the line. And then that's about all we're doing, is just kind of using it as a counter to make sure that we're not going to insert a word that would put us past the threshold of the character limit on each line. So we increment our character index, and I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Line character index, so it'll be, from 1 to 19 on every line. We're extracting a character from the text we're pulling the ith character of our text right here as char. And then if that character is not a space, if it's not a space, then we become in a word. And that means, we would need to add the rest of the word. This gets tough. Okay, so let's just walk it through. We become in a word. Then if we are in a word, which, let's just say that our string is A, B, C, D, whatever. It's not a space. So A is not a space. So we're in a word. And we're in a word. So we're going to cycle through 19 characters worth. Now, I think this can get wrong, because if we have a shorter character, if we have only a text that says hi, that's only 2 characters, and this would cycle through all the characters through 19, and there's just not that many characters in there. So we need to come up with a better way of doing this. I think we can do a while loop. We can say while the character we're at does not equal a space, go ahead and do something. Otherwise, we become not in a word. So let's do that instead of this. I actually don't know the syntax for a while loop in Love2d, so I'm going to look that up real quick. It looks like you just do while condition do. Very simple. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to comment this out real quick. Okay. So if we're in a word, we're going to say while that character does not equal a space, and while the character, it's not the character, it's that we want, it's almost like we need a local, because see how we've got an index here, k. We need to have a index where we're asking is a space or not. And we can't do I because we're stuck in the for loop here. So we'd have to say local k gets, or local next char, I don't know. Local next char gets, no, this needs to be an index. So we can say local word index, I don't know what we can call it. Word index is a bad name. We want something to keep track of how many characters in our word. We can call it maybe, I guess for now just word index. We're going to initialize word index to 1, and then we're going to say while the word index, and actually we need to extract the specific character out. This is really weird. Word char is going to be the sub string, and it's going to be just the word index. So we're extracting, as soon as we become in a word index becomes 1. And this actually isn't right because we need to pull the character of the specific word, so we need to get I in here. So we can say word index gets whatever I character we're at, which should be the first character that is a word. And then we're saying, okay, and then that word char is going to be a substring of just that word index from that self.text. So we're snagging that char of the word, and we can say here, while our word char, we can see we're checking for if it's a space. We're looking for when we find the end of the word. So while the word char does not equal or not match, can we do that? While not match? While not word char match with a space. So as long as we have a character, then what we're going to do is we're going to increment our current word length, because we're counting how big the length of the word that we're in is. And then we also need to increment our word index. So we can say word index also gets incremented by 1. What that'll do is, oh crap, and you know what? It's tough to think of this in the init. I guess this makes sense. We'll walk through, because the idea is this is just to populate the string fields. Once they're made, that's when the update function runs. So this is just running outside of delta time in the init. So what will happen here is while the word char does not match a space, we're going to increment that. And then what we need to do is also reassign our word char to be equal to a substring of our text. But this time it is the char from our word index again, which is now an updated value of the next word. So as long as, this loop will go and basically count all the length of the word, keep cycling through, extracting the next character at a time. As long as it's not a match with a space, then we are incrementing that word count. Otherwise, if we are matching with a space character, then we are no longer in a word. And then I don't know if we need a break here. I don't think we need a break. Okay. We probably also need to reset our word index. No, because we only do that if we're in a word. Okay. Let's see. The next thing we're doing is saying this is getting confusing. But here we need to ask, before we append the word to the current line we're on, we need to ask if adding that word to the current line we're on would put us past the line character limit, which is 17, 19. So we're asking here, we're saying, okay, if the line character index we're on, which this is wrong because we also need to increment our character index for every letter we find that is not a space. And then our line character index, and you know what? Our line character, well, yeah, we kind of have to do something. I'm a little unsure if we should be doing this in the for loop for the whole text length, but I guess you know, if we walk it through and this is the first letter, let's say our test string is ABC, we're on A. So we're going to have a line character index of now 1. We're going to extract the A. If the A is not a space, which in A is not a space, we're going to become in a word. If we're in a word, we're going to snag the word index, which is 1. Word char is just the first index from our self.text. While that A does not match a space, we're going to increment our line character index, so that'll be now 2. Current word length is now 1 because we counted the A. Increment our word index, and then word char now becomes the B of our ABC string. Now the while loop comes back up here and it says while B does not match, and then it goes all the way through. I guess this kind of assumes, well, shoot. We have to break if our line character index is greater than our text length, because right now we don't have a way to kind of break out of this for loop. So I think a for loop might be the wrong way to do this outside loop. I'm not exactly sure though. But let's keep it walking through. So like we can do a test in here. We can say if our self dot line character index is ever greater than our text length, then we just need to break out of this loop. I don't know if that's right. I don't know. I don't know if that's right. Because we're never becoming not in a word if we don't end our text with a space. So I'm trying to like account for if we've reached the end of our, you know, if we only have one word in our text thing, we need to become done with this loop. I don't really know. Okay. This is the if we need to add to a next page, and this is otherwise. So we basically take the current string, which is an empty result string for the page we're on at the line we're on, and we are concatenating, we are essentially just concatenating with the dot dot a substring of, let's see, what is this? A substring of starting at I, which is the first character, and then adding from the first character to the current word length. So essentially just putting the whole word we just found into the result string for the line we are on. And then we're assigning our line character index to be updated to itself plus the current word length. I don't think that's necessary anymore because we are assigning that every time we count, every time we increment our line character index. We're also updating this now. So then we're saying I is also getting to be equal to incremented by the current word length. I don't think we need to do that. I don't know though. Let's see if we get anything in our text. It looks like we have a bug at 52 and near else. Yeah, it doesn't like a while. I guess we can just end this, and then we can say if word char does in fact match with a space, If we have found a space character, then we're going to become no longer inner word. Let's see if we can see anything. Text timer, a nil value. What the heck? Text timer, a nil value. Why are you a nil value? We assign it? Yo, why are you mad at that? Attempt to perform arithmetic. 157. It can't update text timer, even though we have a text timer right here. So, what the heck? The heck? I don't know. I don't know why. Text timer, a nil value. It's not a nil value. We initialize text timer. Self.text timer, self.text timer. We are always initializing this. Yeah, the first one we have is the init. And then this line 57 where it's crashing is only after that. I wish I knew what was going on. We didn't change anything with the text timer, so I don't get why this is even an issue. If we were to just comment out this whole thing we've been working on. Okay. Okay, let's just initialize text timer towards the top, see if that fixes anything. No. Yeah, it got us one line further. Next text trigger. Is this? Yeah, this is in the update. I don't get why any of this would be an issue. Let's put this other... Oh. No, I don't know. I thought we had that commented out at some point. I don't know if it's necessary still. Let's put them up at the top. See if it fixes our problem. No. Signpost 164. 164. Text index doesn't know. What the fuck? Why is all of this failing now? Our update doesn't even get called until after the init, so why is any of this broken? And we're not touching any of this over here. We're not touching our timer. God, it's so tough. See, why? Why is our character count? Why is it failing here at this character count? I guess we don't have a character count. Okay, let's manually assign the character count. Oh, we do. We do. Okay. We'll put the character count up there. We need to populate that correctly. Oh my god, dude, why? What the what is happening? Why is everything breaking? None of this was broken at the end of at the beginning of the episode here. So what is going on? It does have. Let's get rid of this. Well, let's just see if turning this off stops the crashing, because this is just crazy. Why? Like, it was working. All we needed was a dot string. Now it can't do anything. Yeah, I can't index pages because it's nil. Signpost 15. So let's make sure we do this after we give ourselves the pages here. Okay, at least we don't crash. Jeez. Okay, let's turn this back on. Okay. No whammies. Okay. Hey, this is a... Okay, so it's wrong, but it's part of it right. Like it busted at the first word it found. So it did a word find. It got the first word find. And then it went and then it tried to snag the second character of the first word, and then it started kind of working. It's tough. It's almost like we'd want to like manually debug by printing. It's too tough. It's too tough to debug without a proper debugger, because this is all in the init, not even in the update. So this is quite tricky. We know it. I mean, it looks like the first word was working, right? So if we come in here and we say, go to our map declarations, and we can say, hello, is this on? Question. That should be 19 characters, and then hello. It got the first word. Okay. It got the first word. That's good. Okay, so how do we get the next word? Right? So it looks like it added the whole word to the current line. So let's go ahead and then say, okay, you added the word to the current line. Now let's, I don't think we need this. Let's try to do this and increment our I. I don't know if that'll work. It doesn't look like it does. So the thing is, this is kind of confusing. I think the for loop is, I don't think we want the for loop here. So I think it's tough because we're not trying to do, basically all of this code is basically snagging a whole word. So it's like, if we find a character that's not a space, let's you know, search the spaces in front of it until we find a space, or we get to the end of our page length or our text length. So I don't really know if we need a for loop here. I mean, we're successfully pulling the first word. So that means that the for loop part is maybe messed up. I don't know how to even think about this. Yeah, I think for loop isn't what we want to do, because we don't want to cycle through all the text characters in our text length. We don't necessarily want to do that. We just want to find the first word, get the first word. If it fits on the first line, go ahead and append it. But maybe we can see where our flaw in logic is. So if we're in a word, we're going to take the word index. Now, where is this word index? It's just whatever I is. And then we're going to extract the first character. While that character does not equal a space, we're going to increment this line index. And then, see, and I don't think this line index. Yeah, I don't think we want to do this, because we're adding the count of our word to the current line index. Come on, man, let's go. What are you doing? I've never seen that. What did I do that just completely broke the game? Okay. I think for loop is the wrong thing to do here. But while our current word character does not match a space, so while we're in a word and we haven't found the end of the word yet, we're going to increment our line character index. Increment our current word length, and then, so it looks like we were crashing because we were never exiting this while loop. So we need to increment our line character index here, because that's how we're checking to see if we have surpassed the end of our word without encountering a space. Because, like in our example, we don't have a space at the end of our word. We just have hello. It ends on O. So this is going to say if we have surpassed our character length and we haven't found a space, then we're just going to break this while loop and no longer be inside a word. Gosh, I don't know. And then if we do find a space, we're going to say think we need to do this sooner. Well, we won't break out of this loop until we've passed the line character index. Or past the text length. Well, we would also break out of this loop if our word char becomes assigned to percent. And then at that case, we're going to say, okay, well, we're no longer in a word. Okay. Then what we're doing is saying, you know, we're not worried about this just yet, but we're saying if our word can fit on the current line we're on, then go ahead and append that word to the string, and that's working. It's just that this is wrong. So let's see if we take out this I assignment. Let's see if we get anything more than one word. And we have hello, is this on? Okay. So this is why I think the for loop isn't necessary. So let's get rid of our for loop here. And that means we'll get rid of this end right here. And we will align this code. Now, instead of a for loop here, I'm going to just give us a local variable called characters to check gets true. That means we have characters to check. And then we're going to say, while we have characters to check, do this stuff. And at the end, while characters to check, go ahead and do all this stuff. And we'll say that at the end here, we only say, you know, if anytime we use an I in here, we need to, we'll say local starting index gets 1, and anytime we add a line character, well, starting index is going to be I, so anything here, let's just say that this is, we have word index, oh my gosh. It's not that it's starting index, it's that we want to pull one character at a time, so we're just going to say total string index starts at 1. We can substitute these I's. Let's just call this string index, or text index. We start at 1. While we have characters to check, we're going to go ahead, do all these things, and I'm going to substitute the I. Oh, see, that's not a good idea. Text index instead of I. Okay, I don't think we need, well, shit. Okay, so we have this text index, and this is essentially the value from hey Husky Wolf. I don't know any, I mean, I know GCC can compile C++, at least I'm pretty Yeah, I use the text editor here, so that's, you know, I don't use a GUI. I think maybe JetBrains might have like a community version of a free IDE for C++, maybe. So maybe give that a shot. I would see if JetBrains has like a community edition for a C++ or something. But I can't help too much with that. I don't know a lot, so sorry about that. We essentially need to just update our text index here at the end of our while loop and say we're going to go ahead and increment this. And then if our text index is greater than our text length, meaning we're done going through our words. See, and I don't know if I can do a break here. I don't know if this break will break out of this loop, this while loop or not. I don't know. Okay, so the I here needs to be this text index. All right, well, we got hello. That's at least the correct first word. So it just looks like we aren't appending anything once we find. Yeah, once we find. Okay. So I think instead of breaking the loop once we find a space character, we need to assign our text index to be the next non-space character and ensure that we continue the while loop logic. So instead of breaking, what we want to do, and actually the breaking isn't wrong, I don't think. It's that, well, let me see here. If we comment this out, does it still say hello? It does. Okay, so if we're only getting the first word, the while loop condition is while there are characters to check. So we're actually not ever becoming false on this characters to check. So how are we actually... Yeah, we're never... We should never be coming out of this loop. This... Oh, we do have this return. So if we turn off this return, do we crash? Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, so instead of return here, well... let's just say that this is not going to be a return, but then this is going to be a characters to check is now false. We don't have any characters to check. That'll effectively take us out of our loop. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. So we've got the first word there. Okay. So what's not happening is that... Just walk it through for when we have a space in our character, right? So there's still a character to check. We're advancing our text index, or our character index. Did we advance our text index at the end here? We did not. I think this needs to be inside the while loop. Oh, this was inside the while loop. So what loop is this, or what end is this for? If it's, okay. So we advance our text index at the end here. Okay, so like as soon as we add... See, and this is actually wrong. Our text index needs to become whatever our current index is plus the current word length for the word we just added. But then we need to reassign our current word length as soon as we find a word. So let's say that our self.current word length is 0 because we don't have a length of a word just yet. But we increment this if we are in a word and the very first word letter in there is not a space, then we go ahead and increment that word length. Okay. All right, we crashed. The while loop is, you know, just giving us some issues. Let's say here we can say characters to check gets false if our text index is greater than the length of our text. Our characters to check is false. It should get us out of this loop, but we're still crashing. Shit. Alright, I'm thinking while loop might not be the best way to go about this now. It's just hard because like we were using the for loop to cycle through all the characters in our text, and we add them one word at a time as long as they could fit on the line. But the issue was when we added a word, we needed to update the I value so that I would be, you know, that we wouldn't be checking the next character of the word that we already added to the list. But that's not how the for loop works, because the I is kind of baked into the outside of the for loop, and it runs on every iteration. It gets that increment. So that wasn't working for us, but the while loop is causing a bunch of crashing because we're not exiting it properly. So we just need to be better. I don't know. I don't know how to think about this. The for loop doesn't work. The while loop isn't working. So maybe, well, we do need a loop because we need to check. We need to cycle through every character and check for either, is this the start of a word? Is this the end of a word? And then whether or not to append it on the current line or to advance the page to the next line and put it there. Let's try to add. See, and the problem is like the break would break us out of, oh, hello, his? What? That's somewhat close. Hello, is this on? So it looks like it got HIS and then on? Question mark. Hello is... Oh, and that's weird. His... It goes his, and then it skips... His on? Is that what it says? It doesn't say on. That is so weird. If this had different characters... This is so strange. Why'd it pull the S? Why'd it pull the S? What the heck? That is so weird. Hello, his. Okay. This is maybe kind of close. I thought the break would exit the while loop altogether, but I can't tell. I can't tell. Okay. Let's turn on our add to the next page logic. I don't think we need this, but we do need not I as the index here. Yeah, you know, I'm about there, Tim. I'm about there, Tim. I'm just gonna... like, the only text allowed in this game is hello, his, question mark. And then we're good. We don't need to fix anything else. Okay. Okay. Goddamn. Let's just try, like, if we have this, where we say, okay, the string values are these. Yeah, that works. So yeah, we're just not populating the strings correctly still, so... Okay. Very hard for me to wrap my head around this. So we're clearly, like, not finding the word correctly, but it's finding parts of the word, and it looks like, because it goes hello, is this on? So what's really weird is, why would we snag the first... I don't get why we would snag the question marks without it being attached to the on. And then adding that question mark just totally made it not even show up. Yeah, I mean, I know it's my fault, but I could not tell you why. Like, I'm definitely to blame. Definitely. Gosh, this is so tough. I have a feeling it has to do with this line character index. But I don't know. that gave us a couple more characters, but it just says still wrong. Let me just see. I'm probably gonna have to. Oh, we're crashed. Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a take 2 on this and just redo this logic and hopefully come up with better names, and I'll have to think of how to do this better. It's tough because we have to only add a word to the line if it fits on the current line. Hey, thanks for the follow, Tim. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Yeah. It's tough. The good news is, like, we have the characters printing one at a time, and if there are more pages of text, then it does wait to advance the text until you press the A button again. So once we get this init function populating our strings with the pieces of the string that it needs to be, we have it printing. So that's good. Like, that's working. We just need to get this init working to properly populate the strings with only 19 characters. So yeah, the big issue is we don't know, we need this to be adaptable for any string we might want to give our dialogue system, and we don't know how many spaces or how many words are going to be in that dialogue. So we can't just say, we don't want the word to cut off mid-word if it's printing HEL and then it gets cut off and then there's LO. It doesn't read that it's hello. So that's the hard part we're trying to fix here, Tim, is that as, we need to check character by character, we need to check if the rest of the word that's related to this character that we're trying to print would put us off the current line, then we need to go ahead and put it on the next line. So that's the hard part here, and we need to do all that parsing like before the update function of our game. So once we get the string properly assigned, all the logic will be working. It's just that we need to kind of parse that string piece by piece, word by word, line by line, page by page. which is the hard part. I think this is like day 3 of trying to do this, and we didn't get it done today. I was hoping we can get it done, but I'm still not getting it done. I'm gonna take a look at what we did do today, which is we moved some init values around. We took away our for loop and added a while loop. Shifted some logic around. Renamed some variables. But it is not a success just yet. So let's say that we are attempting line or character by character printing with a while loop, but that is not correct just yet. So hopefully tomorrow we can figure it out. And yeah, Tim, it's like, I'm sure someone could help me. It's just that, it's tough to be like, everyone's got a different style. So I'm sure if I sent someone what I've done so far, they'd be like, why are you doing it like this? And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So I part of the fun is figuring it out myself, and teaching myself how to figure it out. So I'll do some thinking about it and see if if there's a better way to go about it, because the for loop isn't working and the while loop is a little tricky. So I'm gonna do some thinking and see if I can come up with a better way to go about it, and then we'll try to tackle it tomorrow. But let's raid out here. We'll raid out to Kuju. He's always building some cool games. So go say hi to him and give him a follow if you like other game devs. But thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you all have a great night.